I might add this is a practice best engaged while alone in the house. But all in all, I prefer to hear rather than read poetry. And I prefer to watch foreign films with the subtitles, hearing the original voices of the actors and how they express themselves. When I combine the written text with the original expressive voice, it just reaches me differently. While studying Samuel Taylor Coleridge, I learned that he was from Devonshire, which is the area that spawned the stereotypical pirate accent. Truly, reading Rime of the Ancient Mariner or Christabel becomes a more vivid experience in that dialect with the occasional growling "arr" interjected between the lines. Lately, I've come to a great appreciation for the words of Gary Snyder and for his thoughts. One of his books that I bought recently also contained a DVD, so I was able to hear his voice and apply it mentally to his written words. I've shared some of his ideas on the wild and wilderness here, and these are some from his thoughts on community and on language, specifically spoken language, and on the idea of community as culture. I should provide a context here. So this is Snyder's thought related to the Renaissance, which makes sense to me. I think of that movement as being a divergence of thought and expression that was not a top-down mandate from the elite, more of an emergence and a reception among people. And here's what Snyder had to say. Maybe the humanists of Europe were not exactly on the side of the power elites. Superficially, they served urban masters, but their project, whether they clearly knew it or not, was at bottom a defense of the vernacular. Because to think clearly, we must avoid narrow interest or entrenched opinions, and village values are an implicit opposition to the special interests of corporations or capital, or traders, or centralized religious bureaucracies, and other such institutions. Being original, being in place, has its own sort of bias, but it cannot be too inflated because it is rooted in the inviolable processes of the natural world. And that's what I see in our event, is a sort of community of emergence of the vernacular. Big words saying we come together, we talk, and we feel. And that makes me part of something by being a villager. But it's in the area of the audible arts that I find Snyder's thought to express something that truly matters to me. The word grammar is used by language scholars to mean the description of the structure of a language and the system of rules that govern it. A grammar is like the basket that can hold sentences in that language which would all work. In earlier times, language scholars confused writing with speech. This is evident in the word grammar itself. The Greek gramma means letter, with the root garab or greb, to scratch, hence curve, grab, carve. Grammar comes from gramma technic, woven scratches. But it's quite clear that the primary existence of the language, or tongue, is in the event, the utterance. Language is not a carving, it's a curl of breath, a breeze in the pines. That's why I celebrate the audible arts with you all. And